What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and we typically feature a beer of the week. We have a great episode for you today as we are going to recap season 9 of Supernatural. More like Lauren's going to carry me through this because it's been a while since I've seen this. I am on season 12 now. Don't mean to brag, but I'm slowly making my way through. And Lauren's the Supernatural expert. So as always, though, please like, subscribe, share, follow the podcast. That's how it can grow. Patreon.com/HopsGeekNews is how you can help us support the show for as low as $1 a month. It makes me feel like Sarah McLachlan every time I say it. And normally we have a beer of the week. Then we go into news and what we've been reading or watching in our main topic. However, we are just focusing on Supernatural today as a bonus episode. And with that said, I have a beer from Big Ugly Brewing called Witching Sour. It's in Virginia. It's got a collaboration with Thriller Street Tattoo, actually. It's out of Chesapeake, Virginia. I will have to visit this brewery, I think, because it's a cool can. Got some like really stellar artwork, probably from somebody at the tattoo shop. And yeah, so I don't know what the flavor is. It doesn't give me any details on the actual can, but it's got a pretty cool pink color, and that's what I'm drinking. So Lauren, what are you drinking over there?
I'm drinking a fantastic beer. It's from Family Business Beer Company. So obviously you got to peep my fit. My beer matches my shirt and my glass. So I'm full family business here right now. I got this off a Tavor. It is the Grackle, but it's the barrel aged Grackle, which
oh my God, that sounds amazing. You've told me how good that beer is.
It is so good. And what I love is the last time they did it, they only did it in the big bottles. But wait, this is confusing. This says it's only 8.6%, whereas the unbarrel aged one is 10%. So now I'm confused, but this is delicious. And I know that it's going to get better as it warms because I know more of the flavors are going to come out, but it's fantastic.
That's stellar. Ah, man, we got to go there. We just got to go. We got to stalk Jensen Ackles. We got to go. Just kidding, FBI agent. We don't have to stalk Jensen Ackles. I'm just kidding, of course. We're not going to do that.
To come to us.
Yeah, so Supernatural season 9, season 8 ended with a very unwell Sam who was doing the trials. And now we have a world full of fallen angels looking for vessels because Metatron is a dickhead and Crowley is still in the trunk. Yeah, so we left off with them trying to attempt to inject Crowley to close the gates, but then that would have just ended everything. And so they didn't do that. And now everybody's falling to hell, or angels are falling. Everyone's on the ground. And that kind of kicks us off here. So Lauren, I will let you take this away because you are the smarter one of us. You love Supernatural. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just haven't finished the entire series yet.
Yes. So so season 9 starts off with, I think I'm going to like it here. So Sam is in the hospital and we go back and forth to his dreams and Dean is trying to save his life. Bobby shows up in a dream because they always find a reason to bring Bobby back.
They do. Bobby gets to come back somehow. And I love it. How could you not bring Bobby back?
So funny because you and Tabby, when Bobby died, you were like, oh my God, Bobby. But I was like, no, he's going to come back as a ghost. He's going to come back as not really there. He's going to come back in hell.
Dean keep dying and Bobby dies and his is the only permanent death. Like, come on, man, give me a break here.
But yeah, Bobby comes back and you haven't even seen all the versions of Bobby.
I did see him with Rufus recently, though. That was fun.
Oh, was that? Yeah. And that was such a great one where they go back and forth into the present and the past.
And they're in that weird house. Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Finding a way to bring Jim Beaver back. I mean, Jim Beaver is even in the Winchesters. So in an attempt to save Sam, Dean puts out a call to all the angels. Gadriel shows up pretending to be Ezekiel. Castiel vouches for Ezekiel. Dean tricks Sam into getting an angel to possess him, which obviously that's not going to end well. Many other angels also show up, but they're angry and they don't care for Dean and they want Castiel because they think that he is responsible for their fall, even though he was tricked into all those things.
We all were. We're all.
Castiel is human because he lost his wings and he lost his grace, and he meets up with a young girl angel who betrays him, and I hated her. And then she has a very weird scene where she's clearly not attached to her body.
She was in something that I watched, but no, I remember who that is. Yes, I remember. Yeah, it's that weird. They're on the side of the road. She got cut in half or something like that. And that was weird because she was clearly obviously going to betray him, but it was very strange. Yeah, you're right.
So the song is actually the same song from the musical Annie, not the song, but I think I'm going to like it here. I think it's when she gets to the Daddy Warbucks' place. She's like, I think I'm going to like it here. Fun fact, the guy who was the trucker in this was also the trucker in season 1 in Dead Man's Blood, the trucker that hit them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, this season focuses on obviously Cass lost his grace. I remember that much. Metatron's still an asshole out and about. And
God, I hate Metatron.
I do too. This is also the
I think I
season where
hate
Castiel meets up with that like really thirsty angel who turns out to
be a reaper.
yeah, or no, is I'm talking about wasn't she like yeah, she was, but who like was possessed and then like she unpossesses her and turns out she's married and her husband was looking for her and all that stuff.
Oh, Hannah.
Yeah, she like keeps
Yes.
trying to bang Cass at every turn in this season.
Yeah. Well, and then she later comes back as a dude. Have you not met?
Does
You
she?
haven't.
I don't
She
think I
later
have.
comes back as a
Anyways,
dude. She's an angel and like she's up in heaven and she's trying to run things. Maybe I'm jumping ahead. My bad.
it's okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, obviously, yeah, right from the get go, like that angel had the only like Sam was gonna die if Gadriel didn't possess. Well, we didn't know it was Gadriel. He plays off like, hey, I'm a good guy, I'm on your side. And so Dean's like, please, yeah, possess him
Drew's
to
not
save
all
Sam
bad.
because
Well, I
no.
mean,
He ends up
yeah.
working with Metatron though. Like that's the whole thing.
But
Like
he
he's working with
doesn't
Metatron.
know any better. I feel like Gadriel's somebody who's really trying to like do good, and he just keeps getting blamed for everything. And I think
That's
where he
fair.
really fucked up was that he killed Kevin. And I think that's where he, not to jump too far ahead, but yeah, okay. So episode 2, Devil May Care.
Oh my god,
So
you killed Kevin, you bastard.
Sam and Dean tell Kevin, who's currently living in the bunker, that they have Crowley. Kevin manages to, this is funny, he's on the phone and he manages to like blackmail some military person after a bus of military
Oh
demons occur.
yeah.
And Abaddon shows up and she traps a couple hunters, and Sam and Dean show up, and Gadriel basically has to save the day with his angel powers. And so what did you think of the scene with the military possessed people? Because I've heard military people do not like this scene because it's just incredibly inaccurate.
It's so I just hate watching military in anything because it's so bad. They're so bad. They're so inept. They wear the completely wrong stuff because they kind of have to. Like they're not allowed to really wear the fully accurate. But goddamn, it's awful. It's one of those. It's like it's like lawyer shows for you, right? You just sort
Yeah.
of like ugh, and that's how it is. So if you're in a specialty and you watch something, you're like ugh, because it's so. But it's television,
Can't
man. You got to
imagine
just
how
shut your
doctors
brain
watch.
off. Oh yeah, Carrie. Anytime she watches nurse things, she's like, "That's not real. This would be this." And like, when we were
That
watching
person would be
something,
dead.
what the hell we were watching? Where, oh, is Madam Web with a CPR thing, and she's like, "Okay, CPR is only like 2%." Like all this stuff. She's like, she is right, but yeah, I mean your specialty stuff, right? So it was just fucking stupid, dude. So stupid.
So the one part I do like Abaddon's like hitting on Dean, where she's like on top of him, and she's like, the way you make girls feel or whatever, I'm gonna blow smoke up your ass. And he's like,
Yeah.
are we fighting or making out? I'm very confused.
I
But I
like
love
that.
that actress. She's so pretty. And like she just does such a great job at like playing like this
A villain,
evil.
yeah.
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 I loved Abaddon. I thought she was a great character. So the aliases in this episode, they're actually Stark and Banner. So we got some Marvel references. They're not all just musicians, kids.
They're not. They are not. Unless you're Beyonce and Agent whatever from.
Oh.
That was good.
Oh yeah. Okay, you saw
When
the one
Crowley and Cass are going, it's like
and
I'm
Z
Agent
and
Beyonce and this is Agent C. Like,
yeah,
but
the
that was good.
Beyonce one comes up again in the future at some point. I think when he's with somebody else. Yeah, see, you're so close to the end now, so it's gonna be hard not to ruin
I'm
things.
trying to get there before the cruise. All right, I'm trying my hardest. Now,
it's so crazy because you meet Donna in this season. All right, go.
Oh, episode 3, I'm
Episode
no
3.
angel. This episode, we continue to see human Cass being irritated about literally anything and everything, especially how many times he has to pee, which is hilarious because he's not used to human stuff.
Are you ever annoyed by how often you have to urinate?
Trust me, Cass, I drink a lot of water, dude. I go like every hour, so I can relate.
And then him brushing his teeth, he's like squeezing the toothpaste into his mouth.
He's actually going by Clarence, and it's the name that Meg used to call him in reference to an angel that from It's a Wonderful Life. Cass then finds a nice woman who takes him in after he runs out of money because he had to get a warding tattoo to keep away angels. Bartholomew is hunting him, and the Winchesters are looking for him. Turns out the nice lady is actually a Reaper, and after taking his virginity, she calls him. Dean frantically yells for Ezekiel, who brings Cass back. Oh, calls him.
She kills him.
Sorry. Thanks, Lauren. I read what's on the prompter. Yes, she does. So she's like straddling him in the chair, and then she stabs him to kill him. And so he dies. And that's when Dean's like, dude,
Dean
Ezekiel,
panics.
bring him back.
Zeke.
Yeah. And so, but a lot of the season, while Sam is possessed by Gadriel or Zeke, Sam blacks out because he doesn't know yet. So a lot of
Sam blacks out a lot anyways.
I mean, very true. One hit and he's out most of the time. But
yeah,
he's
like
this
giant
season,
dude and just bonk. I realize like how
so Zeke,
like he should have permanent brain damage from all the concussions he's suffered.
I mean, fair. So yeah, Zeke tells Dean that Cass has to leave or he'll bring the angels, but I think it's really because he doesn't want them to know who he is. The title is actually a song by Greg Allman, I'm No Angel. And yeah, so it's kind of funny that like, Sam keeps black out. It's like, he can't know. And it's just ridiculous. God, it's funny. It is good. So what happens in episode 4? Because Cass back to life, like we said.
Did you have protection? I had my angel blade.
Yeah.
I like how he was just so like, why would you ask that? Of course I had my angel blade.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's human now. I mean, she was a reaper. She probably didn't have any diseases, and now she's dead now. So. All right, yeah. Episode 4, slumber party. So Crowley's still locked in the dungeon, and the boys and Charlie accidentally release Dorothy and the Wicked Witch, who starts wreaking havoc and turns the boys into flying monkeys. Charlie dies, and she's celebrating Christmas while she's dead, and Gadriel saves her. The girls then figure out they can stab her, meaning the Wicked Witch, with a ruby slipper, and then Dorothy and Charlie go off to Oz. I like this one.
Oh, this was the fun. I like this one because I think we talked about this.
We did talk about this.
We did a first half of season 9, didn't we? Because I remember talking about how my mom loves this episode, and I love this episode because of with the Wizard of Oz.
We didn't talk about Dog Dean Afternoon. When Dean was a dog? I definitely
remember talking about this somehow.
What?
We did.
No.
Okay. Well, anyways, I did like this episode because Charlie was back, right? And then she goes off to Oz, which I thought was awesome because she goes in the book and everything like that. And she's a total fucking badass. So I do remember this. I thought maybe we didn't. Anyways, Charlie's desktop has a picture of Lion Cat from the comic book saga, which is Carrie's all-time favorite comic book, and you can actually see an image of a supernatural book. Charlie mentions that a Becky Winchester 176 book, all the books online, and then this episode is more accurate to the books than the movies. And Lauren also loves that Crowley references the musical Demons Are So Cultured. He also whistles Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow.
I have our last Supernatural episode is season 8.
Oh, well, maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. Anyways.
I do think we did talk about this because when Charlie comes up, I think you had already watched this the last time we recorded.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Okay.
I could be wrong, though.
I don't know. Anyways. Episode 5. Take us to Dean in episode 5 then.
I'm still double checking.
Let me pause this. We did not talk about this already. So episode 5 then, Dog Dean Afternoon. A weird murder happens and only a dog witnessed it. Dean actually becomes the dog with the help of a dog and can talk to all animals. I don't know why I don't remember this.
Really? Where he like is literally talking to the dog and then he's like turned on by the poodle and then he's like calls the pigeon a douchebag.
I think I do, but I don't. Maybe I blocked it out.
This is one of the weirdest, like funniest out there episodes. I feel like they went too far with the poodle part.
Oh, but, like, well, come on, man. Like, we're gonna go all the way.
They don't realize like that the spell has worked yet, and Dean starts like. Remember, Sam threw something in the garbage can, and Dean goes and gets it out and hands it to him, and he's literally playing fetch and doesn't realize it. And Sam's like, why are you doing that? And then Dean goes to eat a chocolate bar, and the dog's like, you probably shouldn't.
I don't remember any of this, actually. Did I block this out? I don't know why. I remember the poodle, but that's so about funny.
It. And then they go to the pound, and like the one dog, I wish I could remember the actor's name. He's in Will and Grace, and he's like, the big one's gotta pet my belly if he wants me to talk. And then and there's that guy that like turns into animals, and he knew that Sam was something, he wasn't human because Gadriel was inside of him, and that Dean had the mark, or it was talking to dogs. I don't think he didn't have the mark yet. Was talking to dogs, and he's like, who are your parents? Like, what did they do to make you two like what you are? And they could tell like the guy was dying because Dean was a dog, so he could like sniff out the cancer. And he's arguing with the dog about sticks. Oh, you need to go rewatch.
No, I guess I have to.
I like that the last one you're like, we already talked about this one, and this one you're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's weird. I don't know why this one.
Oh my! It's remember, and he's talking to the
no,
pigeon.
Lauren, I don't remember. That's what I'm telling you.
And he's like, "You winged rat!" And he's like about to shoot the pigeon. He like pulls the gun out to shoot the pigeon because he says he's brewing up a real big one to shit on his car.
I don't know.
And then Dean has his whole head outside of the car. And then when they park, then he's like, "Oh!" And he acts all awkward and gets back in. Like him and the dog have their heads out of the car. Like he goes full dog. I don't know. I didn't remember this one. It's a weird one.
All right. Well, I don't. So maybe episode 6 will jog my mind because Heaven can't wait. Oh, go into what you got to say. Sorry, I'm blowing past this because I'm here in headlights. I'm a dog in headlights. I don't know.
You have to go rewatch this one. It's so fucking out there. So, 2 fun facts real quick. The title is after an Al Pacino movie called Dog Day Afternoon. And the second one is, I thought this was interesting. There's a taxidermied bald eagle in this episode because the guy who died had a taxidermy place. And those are actually illegal in the United States of America because we don't taxidermy our eagles.
We don't, damn it. There's a lot of bald eagles where I live. It's really cool always getting to see them. I always get like a little spurt of America, and then I realize how shithole our country has kind of become right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying these fireworks. Anyways, Heaven Can't Wait. Dean finds Cass working at a gas station. He's just.
Do you remember this?
I do. He's got the blue vest.
Be human again.
Isn't this? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Helps him prepare for what Cass in the audience, because that bitch led him on, thought was a date. Yeah, because she used him to be a babysitter. She did.
Ew,
she was leading him on. She was 100%.
She'd be so lucky to have Cass like her.
100%. Like, he got suckered in so bad. So an angel that used to put angels out of their misery is going around killing people who are sad and turning them to pink clouds. When he comes to kill Cass, sensing his sadness, Cass proves he's not just a baby in a trench coat. And Dean shows up when he realizes Sam and Kev are still at the bunker and try to get Crowley to help them find a way to open up heaven again. Yeah, no, this one, Cass got catfished pretty hard. Even though he knew she wasn't lying about who she was, it was more of like she used him to babysit her kid.
Babysitter,
that's fucked up. Like she knew what she was doing. She knew fucking damn well what she was doing. I didn't like that.
I didn't like it. But I do enjoy Cass and any moments we get Cass and Dean together. I very much so enjoy those moments because they do have a special bond. But he didn't want to do that in front of Sam.
They do.
Yeah. So the title is a nod to a 1943 and a 1978 film called Heaven Can Wait. Can't wait.
I don't know. Episode 7, we bad boys for life or what?
Bad boys for life. So this is a flashback episode. And this is my favorite young Dean actor. He freaking kills it. We see him again in the Hansel and Gretel episode. So Dean got caught stealing food for Sam, and John still left him in the boys' home. He gets on the wrestling team. He's making good grades. He meets a nice girl when John shows up and demands that he must come now. And Dean doesn't want to until, of course, he sees Sammy in the back seat and he can't abandon his little brother. The boys visit the house. Oh, apparently I capitalize boys. Apparently every time I write the boys now, it's just capitalized the boys. Visit the house now today because it's got a ghost. One of the boys' moms is going around and killing people who fuck with her kid.
That's very fair.
I really like this one because you see the mom, like she looks scary ghost, and then she suddenly looks like her. She's a very pretty young woman who died in a tragic car accident and left her son. The son ends up getting orphaned and ending up at this home, and the kids aren't being very nice to him.
Yes, I vaguely remember this one. I do.
So Dean's love interest, all grown up, was also the mom of the baby in season 1, who Sam had a vision of dying in the baby's nursery, but they save her. Ruth was also in a past episode. Yes. So the lady who worked there, I did not realize it was the same lady. I used to get these episodes confused and I didn't know why. And now I know why, because it's the same damn lady. And I remember them talking to her in both episodes. So I had mixed up the episodes. She was in the Family Remains one with the kids, the twins in the walls, that wasn't a ghost.
Yep.
And but she worked with the boys. So both times it was like she took care of the house and they asked her questions about a potential ghost. The name of this is not after the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence movie. It's actually after a 1983 movie called Bad Boys, which was about locked up juvenile delinquents.
I will forever consider it a part of the Bad Boys universe with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. We already talked about this. Your favorite Dean. But
yes, but a super fun fact. So January 24th is Eric Kripke's wife's birthday. He uses January 24th whenever he can. We've seen it in The Boys. It's Jessica's birthday, Sam's girlfriend, and it is Dean's birthday. And it is real life little Dean's birthday. What?
That is crazy. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So going into episode 8, Rock and a Hard Place, Jody calls needing help with a bunch of disappearances of people from a local church. A born-again version being created, including Dean and Sam, Virginia, only to find out the born-agains is a former porn star. I love this because I remember this one because Dean, they go to her room and she pulls out like the Bible or something like that. And Dean's like, wait, what? He was like, I thought we were going to, although they do, don't they hook up? They do hook up.
They do hook up. That's why they end up getting kidnapped, because they break their born-again virginity.
That's right. But
I love when he's at the
deflower each other, and it's a goddess that needs virgin sacrifices. Yes.
I love, and the scene when Dean's talking about sex and he's just like, and then a it builds up and all the women in the room are like crinkling their papers and crossing their legs.
Yes, yeah. Like it's funny when
Amazing.
they go in there and they're pretending, and then he realizes who she is, and he's just fawning over her the whole time. I'm like,
It's like, why does she look so familiar? Didn't they had Casa Erotica. So they brought back Casa
yeah.
Erotica. And then he like speaks Spanish or something to her.
It was yes, he does. That's right. And then they role play. He's like, can you be this or whatever? While they go back to her house. Yes. Oh my God. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode a lot. Just for the pure like 13-year-old boy ridiculousness of like who wouldn't act that way, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was like something on his bucket list. It's like he was
yeah.
bucket list. Yeah.
Oh my God. I
mean,
do
that's
like that.
Josh's list. He always says they're porn stars on his list because that's more likely to actually happen.
Anna Kendrick, well, till I die. But
yeah.
James Kirk, who played one of the younger kids, actually plays a younger version of Jensen Ackles' character in the show Dark Angel. I didn't know he was in Dark Angel. That's the one. Was Dark Angel with Jessica Alba?
Yeah, he's talked about working with her before on Inside of You podcast.
Oh, Inside of You podcast, huh? Interesting.
With Michael Rosenbaum.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
but yeah, no, I like this.
Heard of that. Okay.
I did like this episode. I did. That's all I kind of got though. So episode 9, Holy Terror. There is a van full of angels in white singing, and they go to war with a bar full of biker angels, which is fucking hilarious. Human Cass shows up as a hunter and says, Cass is back in town. Cass is back in town.
And he has like a little beer and he's like, clink.
Gadriel once again says she's gotta go, which confuses Sam. We then learn that Gadriel is Gadriel and not Ezekiel. Gadriel has been in heaven's lockup forever because he let the snake into the garden. He let Lucifer in. Gadriel begins meeting with Metatron, and then this is where Kevin ultimately died. I didn't think Kevin would actually die, and so when his death happened, it felt like so unceremonious that I was like, no way.
Right.
But it was permanent till it wasn't. I mean, it is, but
you still don't know how tragic his story is either.
There's more because I saw Chuck, aka God.
Season 15, it gets worse.
Worse for poor Kevin? I thought his life was happy. I thought he was doing great when Chuck was like, look, it's Kevin. He was like, God's like, hey, it's Kevin, man. He's fine. You tell me Kevin God lied.
Left home alone again. I won't say God lied, but Kevin.
God's a piece of shit is what he is. Fucking Chuck. You can never trust anybody named Chuck.
Too busy eating his own ass.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Oh, fuck that guy. Yeah, no, I didn't expect Kevin to die yet. Like that. I thought it was, again, like sometimes when they do these big deaths, they just kind of happen. You know? And then you're like, wait, that was it?
Yeah,
like you're like, that was it? It was weird.
I feel like one of the reasons is because this is a show where everybody can come back. So they don't want to make this huge, like ceremoniously, like huge death, because then it will be diminished the second they come back as a ghost or as a shapeshifter, or they go to hell, or they see them in heaven.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you have to. Like, it's for your main characters. They deserve some glory, I guess. I don't know.
I wonder if sometimes the writers don't realize how much characters are loved, because I know a lot of people were upset about Charlie's death.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when Charlie died, that was one of those. She was off screen. She died off screen. That's what pissed me off. That's why I didn't think she was actually dead. She died off screen. I was like, no fucking way. That was it. I was like, are you serious?
And a lot of people were upset about that. Like, why did you?
As they should. They, again, I guess writers, because then maybe you don't want to listen to the fans, because then it influences your writing a little too much, and then you start to make good or bad decisions. But bullying works sometimes. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to bully some people. You know, like the Sonic, that worked. That's an instance of bullying that worked appropriately. And I'll leave that there. Let's move on.
Episode 10, Road Trip.
I love that movie.
Garth was in that movie.
He was, yes.
All right, so Dean and Cass ask for Crowley's help in getting Gadriel out of Sam. So they go on a road trip in Cass's car after Dean puts gas in it. I love that scene so much. I don't know why, but just the fact that Cass broke down. He doesn't understand why. Dean has a thing of gas, and he's like, yep, it's out of gas, just like I thought. It's like, oh, Dad's coming to save you.
I know, dude.
I love this, the innocence of his humanity, that he is this warrior, like has killed angels and demons and and he's like, I don't know what's wrong with my car.
It is.
Gadriel is out killing people on Metatron's kill list. They manage to trap Gadriel and expel him with Crowley's help. Cass is now on borrowed grace and removes Sam's tattoo, though, so that Crowley can possess him and say Poughkeepsie. So so Gadriel finds his original vessel once he does finally get kicked out of Sam's vessel, and Metatron is there waiting for him, knowing that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Abaddon shows up though, and Crowley says,
he'll handle it.
Oh, he'll handle it. Dean then drives off alone because Sam is mad he let Gadriel possess him.
I just feel like so much of this could be simple conversations that I just get tired of. I guess one thing that I get tired about Supernatural is just like the nonsense between Sam and Dean all the time, like hiding stuff from each other in these petty little ways. I get it, like, but they're all good intentions. I feel like if you actually just had a conversation with each other, then you can see the point. But then that comes to like maybe toxic masculinity at some point where like they're two very proud masculine dudes, especially Dean, who doesn't know how to talk. So they hide stuff because they're afraid of what the truth might bring. So
right.
I do get tired of like they're always keeping something from each other.
And I think part of that is because you're not supposed to be watching it like 15 seasons at a time. So this is dragged out over years. So I think that's one thing. But two, I do think that they do that too much. But I do think that later
it's a
they
CW
have
trope,
time.
That's the CW trope. They do that with any show.
But I do think in the last couple seasons they start to call that shit out and be like, this is stupid. Why are we still doing this? Like, but they're also brothers. So it's like I feel like you're more likely to be short and mad with a sibling than you would be with somebody else. So like it does sometimes get annoying, but I do feel like they end up calling that, and I'm not making excuses for it because there are times where I'm just like, again, roll your eyes.
They've been through so much together that I feel like they could have these conversations because Sam would have done the same for Dean if it was reversed. You know damn well.
I don't know that he would, because Amelia is a good example of that. Sam wouldn't do the same for Dean. Dean looks at Sam as somebody he has to take care of. He's a father figure to Sam. It doesn't go the other way around. Fair. I do think there are things that Sam will do for Dean, but
Sam has gone through so much to bring Dean back to life before, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but not to the level that Dean would for Sam.
Okay, I don't know. I guess it can go either way.
Amelia, he hit a fucking dog.
Emilio! Well, this is actually the first time that Crowley actually calls Sam Bullwinkle instead of Moose. I love the nickname Moose, man. Now, the dream that Gadriel puts Sam in about ghouls eating cheerleaders is a reference to the comic book Zombies versus Cheerleaders. I have never read that. Have you?
No, but I thought that was a fun fact for our podcast.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I want to read that. Maybe I'll read it for Halloween. Who knows? Ooh, that'd be a good tie-in. Yeah. Overall, yeah, I didn't. Metatron's a dick. I'm so ready to get rid of Metatron. However, I get sympathetic to him later on, especially in the current season. I know we're getting ahead because I've watched a couple seasons ahead of what we're talking about, but you kind of do when him and Chuck are in the secluded area talking, and God's kind of an asshole, and Metatron kind of shows a sympathetic side to him. And so you kind of feel bad for him before he meets his untimely demise to the darkness.
Okay, so you're fully caught up on that. So for me, I do understand, like, yeah, okay, he's like, well, why are you so mad at humanity, and why do you hate humanity, and why are you going to let this happen? But he's still a dick about it. I feel like Metatron just wants humanity there for his own entertainment.
He's inherently a dick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is. But I get both sides. You can't help but feel a little sympathy, even though he's still a dick. I still don't like him.
He fucked over Cass. I hate him.
Now, episode 11, Firstborn, Crowley asks Dean for help in finding the first blade so that he can kill Abaddon, which is when they find out it's actually Cain, the first murderer. Dean gets the mark. Cass and Sam are trying to find Gadriel by extracting Angel Grace that was left in Sam. Yeah, we finally get Cain, who is Timothy Otzman, I think is how you pronounce his name, but Omenson, that's what it was. Yeah, he's been at some cons. I didn't know that was Cain. They're in the house, and all the people, the demons or whatever, are coming after them.
I love this episode.
It was a good episode. Yeah. I mean, Cain's just kind of like this grizzled badass. He's kind of a daddy too. He
looks hot. What did you really like Gallivant?
No,
so Gallivant was a show on like ABC, and he plays this like virgin king or something, and he's such a fucking goofball. And that's the only thing I knew him in. I think the show got canceled. It was on for like 1 or 2 seasons, but it was actually really good and really funny. And it was like a musical that was like old timey, but like self-aware that it was old timey. Google it. It's worth a Google. Gallivant. And yeah, he's this king who's so fucking funny. And that's the only thing I knew him in. And then I see him in this, and like, yeah, he's hot as Cain.
He does. Like, he's got the white beard, man. He's kind of muscular. It's like he's like that old man that you're like, man, I hope I look like that when I'm 65. I won't, but I hope I do.
That old.
He's not that old. I'm just saying in general, like
they wrote this role for him.
They did, and he was really badass. Yeah. Then he obviously against his wishes because he's just like letting Dean and Crowley fight their way across the house as the demons enter. And
he's just sitting there eating dinner.
he is. He's just chilling, man. He's just chilling the whole time, which is a really cool episode. And then ultimately he gives Dean the mark of Cain, which sets off a whole other sequence of events. Now, Jensen actually did his own stunts for that amazing fight scene in Cain's kitchen, which is pretty cool because it gets pretty brutal at times. The role of Cain was actually written for the actor Timothy Omenson, and Zelina, the Wicked Witch of the West in Once Upon a Time, also lives in the house that Cain lives in.
But I love when Crowley does the Catholic thing. And then I love the backstory of Cain where no, Lucifer was talking to Abel and he took the burden for his little brother. So obviously you're going to see some symbolism and some comparison with Sam and Dean. But I loved all of that. And I love just how he's like, I'm worried about bees. Bees are important. And there is an outtake of a bee where Mark Sheppard is smacking the away. But yeah, I loved all this. And it's also funny because I've seen not outtakes or more so behind the scenes of The Boys where Jensen is Soldier Boy and he's fighting Homelander and they do a scene and then Anthony Starr's are you okay? And it's yes, he's fine. He knows how to do this.
He knows what he's doing. Have you seen?
Right.
Jensen is a beast.
Go watch this. I mean, this one fight scene is it's a shit.
It does. They're going through yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I really like that episode, and I love the introduction of Cain. And if anybody who has not seen the parody of "I Got the Mark of Cain," highly recommend going to YouTube. It's called Hillywood. Just search on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's 2 videos. One of them is the Shake It Off parody, and you actually see Cain in it. You see a whole bunch of supernatural actors.
You showed me these, and I didn't care before because I wasn't watching the show. So I guess I'll.
I sent you the links when you got to this.
I know you did. You have. You're right. You have.
They're a lot of fun, yes. But they also do a Winchester. Who are you gonna call? Winchester. They do a Ghostbusters one too. The cameos are insane. You see,
man, we should have gotten in on this.
You see Jody.
Why didn't we know each other in 2010? We could have been ahead of the curve too and gotten in all this, and we would have been hanging out with Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki and.
I mean, shit. The show's been on since 2005, and I started watching it in 2017.
Stupid.
No, October 2016. Okay, sharp teeth.
All right.
Sharp teeth. Oh.
Well, this is the episode that we actually learn that Garth has been turned into a werewolf. Remember, he's at the family's and he's been accepted into a non-murdering pack, although his girlfriend stepmom is a little crazy, as they typically are. They prefer lycanthrope, not werewolf, which is the actual term for werewolf. Garth was supposed to be keeping an eye on Kevin, and now we learn why he went MIA. Sam and Dean parted ways after the Gadriel nonsense, and they were reacquainted in this episode where we learn that some werewolves are actually born that way. Like this episode, Garth is just so innocent. He's been turned into a lycanthrope. He's a part of this family. They're kind of they seem like religious nuts at first. Something is off. And but no, they're werewolves. They're bad. But it turns out they're just a non-murdering pack. They eat beef and stuff like that, man. They're just
they beef. It's funny to see they all have raw steak and then Sam or Dean's cooked steak.
Yeah, it was a good episode because it reminds you that again in this universe of monsters that not all of the monsters like the vampires that we saw that were non-killing, right? Not everyone's bad, essentially. And it kind of reminds you of that once in a while. I like these cool off episodes.
And I think her name was Kate, the cute blonde with the really short hair that turned they let her go.
Yeah.
They could have followed her and they didn't. Have you met her? I'm sure you've met her sister at this point. Did we do that episode yet?
I don't remember. I'll be honest.
Where the sister, you've had to have watched it at this point. Her sister was dying. So Kate bit the sister and turned the sister into a werewolf so she wouldn't die. But then the werewolf broke bad, basically. And they were okay, well, we're going to have, and Kate was willing to die for her sister's sins. And then they're this isn't right. You're not doing this. And then they realized it was the sister. And then Kate ended up killing the sister. I hope you have seen this because I just told you the whole fucking episode.
I might have.
Well, now you don't have to watch it.
I don't. Well, there you go. Now I know. No, I might have. I don't remember.
Well, if you haven't, I hope you don't remember everything I just told you.
Bada bing.
Okay. All right, next is the fish taco.
Oh yeah, the purge. What happens?
So fish taco people, they eat fat, and this is the episode where we get to meet Donna. So there's a guy who's doing a food eating contest, and suddenly he dies, and he's super duper skinny. So enter Sam and Dean because this is weird, and they get undercover jobs at a wellness center where Dean ends up eating pudding because he works in the kitchen, and Sam is a yoga instructor. And I love when he's we're gonna go into downward dog, and we're gonna be here for 5 minutes, and everybody's like, what?
Yes. Oh, wasn't this? Yeah, no. Oh, that's because they were sucking the fat. These creatures were sucking the fat.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's
right.
It
was the cupping. So it was looking like you were doing cupping. One of my
They weren't
friends
actually bad guys either, which is crazy.
No, the brother was. The brother was overeating, but I felt bad for the sister because her husband, he killed her husband and yeah, she would and then Dean was like ready to kill her and Sam's like, "No, we're not killing her. She's not evil." But I like when she's like, "We're a fish taco," and he's like, "A fish taco?" And we meet Donna. And Donna in real life is actually 7 months pregnant when they film this. And they have the scene with her and Jensen eating the donuts. And there's an outtake of her like, she's like, "I can't take you seriously," because they're both having the powdered sugar like all
Yeah.
over
Oh,
the face.
yeah. Wasn't that there's like TikTok videos like sports teams like who ate my donuts? And there's like powdered sugar all over their faces, donuts. I almost wonder that's where it originated from.
Yeah, well, they did it in wait, and their sports teams are doing it?
Yeah, like if you look at just search like the Boston Bruins, for example. Yeah, there's sports team TikToks that are doing it.
I didn't know that was a thing because the guy with the cardigan did it and he goes, "Who ate my donuts?" And it was Jensen was covered in powdered sugar. And
Yeah,
he's like,
there's
"Come
sports
on,
teams you
guys,
can do
who
it.
ate?" I didn't know that was a thing. I assumed that they were talking about Donna and that's why they did it.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
know.
that's
Maybe.
so funny. Huh, interesting. Anyways, Brianna Buckmaster is fucking drop dead gorgeous, and they try
Yeah.
to make her like this like
They
overweight,
do. They do.
goofy person. She's so like if you like go to her TikTok or whatever, you see her at like the cons, like she's so fucking pretty.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 14, Captives now. Ghost Kevin's back. Yay! He wants the brothers to find his mom, who is in a storage facility. We also learn that his ghosts are just wondering because heaven is closed. And now Bartholomew meets Cass.
Bartholomew is a dick.
We continue to underestimate Cass, who just kills everybody. So
I love
like
that. He's like talking down to Cass, and then like Cass is just like Angel Shiv, and
Yeah. The only thing I really like in this episode is Ghost Kevin.
Yeah.
It confirmed that Kevin was actually dead for me. And I was like, no.
Well, and
Daddy,
then Mrs.
no.
Tran still got to bring her son home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So next one is Thin Man, which is obviously a play on Slender Man. So the Ghost Facers are back and there's trouble in paradise between them. This is a parody of Slender Man. And we learn there is nothing supernatural going on here. It's actually just two people straight up murdering people. So this is only the third time ever that the monster is human. First time was the Bender. Second time was Family Remains with the twins in the wall. And now this episode. So this is the one where like Harry ends up killing somebody and he's having a really hard time with that. Meanwhile, Dean also killed someone and gave no fucks because they were bad guys.
Oh, yeah. Ghost Facers.
I like when he like shows the gun. He's like, "Am I supposed to be more intimidated by the gun or that happy trail?" And he's like, both."
Oh my gosh. I always like love when the Ghost Facers also come back on too. But yeah, it is nothing supernatural. It's like two legitimate people that are out there killing people. And again, like Dean's talked about in the past, it's people are scary. Like he can deal with monsters and ghosts and vampires, but it's real people. It's just crazy.
People are strange.
So that's I don't really have a whole lot there. So Blade Runners, episode 16, Sam and Dean help Crowley find the first blade. We get a Snooki cameo. Oh god, that's right, we did. And then they meet the man with letters.
Funny that Snooki was a demon. That's funny.
This is actually we get to meet the guy whose house is hidden by magic where they get the blade. This guy, his house was like a house of horrors. It was really because he traps them in there at the same time.
Yeah. And he has like the zoo and he has like the vamp and whatnot attacking them. But it was interesting because he's like, "I always wanted the men of letters to do this and they wouldn't do this."
Yeah. He was like salty, basically.
Yeah.
And it was. There's really not much that happens in this episode besides getting the blade. I don't think.
I think what you mainly take away from this, other than getting the blade, is the relationship with Crowley still building with the brothers. Like, obviously, the brothers are never at a point where they're like blindly trusting him. But
that's true.
Starting to see more of. I mean, Crowley always has his own, whatever on the back of his mind, but he does have a soft spot for Sam and Dean and Cass. So I think you see that a little more. And like, I love how short Sam is with Crowley. Like he's just like so. And you actually will see a little bit in the season you're on now. You're going to see more of that development of character, and you're going to start to hate Mary even fucking more because she's the fucking worst.
Yeah. Oh god, she is. But yeah, it's cool that this is like the same one that's from The French Mistake. I thought it looked familiar. Now it makes sense. Yeah. I enjoy it. So episode 17, which is Mother's Little Helper. Abaddon's the nun. She is.
But this is where we see her get her vessel.
Yes, she does go into the vessel. Gonna be honest, I don't remember.
It's you see that the people are capturing the souls. And so Sam actually goes and does this one on his own where like somebody then comes out and she was a nun and she's like, okay, I actually remember this. I never told you. Like she's at the police
yeah, the
station.
nun. She was yeah, okay. So she was like that Spanish, she wasn't like a Spanish nurse, but she was something along those lines. And yeah, she was like the young nurse or something. Is this the nun?
She was a young nun, not the Spanish one or maybe that one was Italian, who was obsessed with the guy.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
different
never
one.
mind. Whoops.
Okay,
Awkward.
this is the one where the young nun saw that Abaddon possessed this girl with Henry because they were gonna like kill Henry and she's like, no, possess me, take me, because Henry had John and Henry had a wife. And so I just like that they brought the grandfather back. So because we only saw him in the one episode where like he dies saving the boys and he gives them the Men of Letters bunker. So then we go to this where Henry's supposed to like getting promoted into Men of Letters and like what ended up happening of how Abaddon so we learn that Henry's friend at Men of Letters had been Abaddon longer than he thought. And then you don't remember that was when the demon went into Abaddon pretending to be a nun, and the younger nun who left the convent years later, she's like at the police station and she's like, you don't understand, this is happening again. And Sam hears her and then Sam asks her questions and they realize what's going on. And she's like, I didn't say anything then. And now people are dying again. And I'm concerned about that. They were collecting souls. I forget what it was to like disrupt them or something. Cause Abaddon was like building her own army.
Oh yeah. Cause she was trying to take over hell. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. She was trying to take over hell.
She was trying to take over hell. I do recall that. But yeah, I don't really remember else. Maybe we should just wrap up the season here and then do a part 2 when we have the full descriptions, because I don't remember. I'm trying to remember off the episodes, but your descriptions actually jog my memories, believe it or not.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Got to refresh your recollection.
Really do. Like, I actually started to remember a lot once I was reading your stuff. So, like, that made a lot of sense.
But yeah, we can leave it here. The next episode is metafiction. So next time we can end with season 9 and we will go into season 10, which is where shit gets hot.
It does. But shit gets even hotter. I don't know. I just was saying that because I was thinking of Jensen Ackles, believe it or not. Yeah, we will wrap it up here. We will wrap up a part 2 of season 9, which will be coming out here soon. So thank you guys for hanging out with us supernatural wise. Hey man, as always, if you want more supernatural content, let us know. These are bonus episodes that we do. We are probably right now out on a nice cruise hanging out. So follow our social medias if you want to follow that journey. And in the meantime, subscribe, share with a friend, share with your supernatural friends. And I promise you, man, I'm almost done with Supernatural. I'm going to get there. And hopefully we'll get the Salt and Burn pod on soon because I know that they're doing the rewatch too. So can't wait to go and talk with them.
They're taking a hiatus, but they're back.
Hey, they're back, baby. So we'll get with some folks, get some Supernatural folks on soon. Follow our other episodes. Go check out what we've been doing. And we will talk to you guys here soon. As always, have a good one, man. Cheers.
Stay classy.
The content you are listening to is part of the Nerd Initiative Podcast Network. For more info about the home of pop culture positivity, check out nerdinitiative.com. The content you are listening to is part of the Nerd Initiative Podcast Network. For more info about the home of pop culture positivity, be sure to check out nerdinitiative.com.